My precious child, I need you to hear what I am about to tell you because it will change everything. The situation that has been holding you captive, the impossibility that has been towering over your life like an immovable mountain, the circumstance that has stolen your peace, night after night after night, the crisis that has drained your hope drop by drop until you feel like you have almost none left. That exact situation has been marked for divine intervention. What you are about to witness in your life is going to defy every natural law that governs your physical reality. It is going to contradict every medical prognosis that has been spoken over your body. It is going to override every financial forecast that has declared your situation hopeless. It is going to supersede every human prediction based on statistics and probabilities and past patterns. This breakthrough that is beginning right now in your life is not going to be the result of your own strength finally being enough to push through the barriers. This is not going to come from your ability to strategize more cleverly or work harder or manipulate circumstances in your favor. This is not going to be because you finally figured out the right combination of human effort and positive thinking. This is the sovereign hand of the God who specializes in turning absolute impossibilities into testimonies that echo through generations, stepping directly into your reality to do what only I can do. This is me moving in your situation with supernatural power that does not need natural conditions to be favorable before it can work. This is divine intervention breaking into your circumstances and rearranging reality to align with my purposes for your life. Miracles begin now in your life. Not tomorrow when you feel more spiritually prepared. Not next week when your circumstances improve slightly and you have a bit more faith to work with. Not in some distant future when everything finally aligns perfectly and all the pieces fall into place naturally. Now, right now, in this very moment as these words penetrate through the layers of disappointment and weariness and doubt that have accumulated around your heart. In this moment, as truth finds its way to that place deep inside where hope has been barely surviving, holding on by the thinnest thread, my supernatural power is being released into your situation right now. The thing you have cried about until you ran out of tears and could only sit in dry-eyed exhaustion. The problem you have prayed about until you ran out of eloquent words and could only groan in desperation. The need you have worried about until anxiety stopped being an occasional visitor and became your constant, unwelcome companion. The diagnosis that filled you with fear the moment the doctor spoke it. The debt that has been crushing you under weight you were never meant to carry. The relationship that has broken something inside you. The door that has remained stubbornly sealed no matter how desperately you knocked or how long you waited. All of it has been brought before my throne. Every detail has been presented. Every tear has been counted. Every prayer has been heard. And I have issued my verdict. The season of impossibility ends now. The season of supernatural breakthrough begins now. I heard every prayer you whispered in the darkness when your voice was too broken to speak above a whisper. Those prayers you prayed at 3 in the morning when everyone else in your house was sleeping and you were alone with your fear and your pain. The prayers you whispered through tears when your throat was so tight with emotion you could barely get words out. The prayers you spoke in fragments because you were so exhausted and overwhelmed you could not form complete sentences. I heard every single one. I heard every cry that erupted from the depths of your spirit when the pain became so unbearable that words were completely inadequate to express what you were feeling. Those moments when all you could do was cry out to me with groans too deep for language. Those moments when your spirit communicated directly with mine because human vocabulary had no words for what you were experiencing. I heard every desperate plea you released into the atmosphere when you exhausted every human option. When you tried everything you knew to try, when you reached out to every person who might be able to help, when you researched every possible solution and nothing worked, when you stood at the very edge of completely giving up because you did not have any strength left to keep fighting. You thought your prayers were bouncing off the ceiling and going nowhere. You wondered if I was even listening or if I had turned my attention to more important matters. You questioned whether I actually cared about what you were going through, or whether I was too distant and transcendent to be concerned with the details of your daily struggle. But every single word, every groan, every tear-soaked cry reached my throne room, not as background noise that I barely noticed while I was occupied with running the universe, but as the voice of my beloved child in distress, capturing my full attention, moving my heart with compassion, stirring me to action on your behalf. Your situation has not been ignored. Your crisis has not been overlooked. Your desperate need has not been dismissed as insignificant. And now my response is in motion. Now the breakthrough you have been desperate for is being released from heaven into your earthly circumstances. You have been carrying a weight that was never designed for human shoulders to bear. The complexity of what you are facing has been completely overwhelming. You wake up every day and the weight is there before you even open your eyes. It sits on your chest while you are still in bed, making it hard to breathe, making it difficult to find motivation to face another day of the same impossibility. The multiple layers of problems compounding on each other have made it feel impossible to even know where to begin addressing it. Every time you think about trying to solve one part of it, you realize that it is connected to 3 other parts, and you cannot fix one without dealing with all of them, and the whole tangled mess is beyond your capacity to untangle. You have tried to fix it. You have spent hours researching solutions online, reading articles and watching videos and listening to podcasts trying to find answers. You have researched every possible approach. You have sought advice from people you trust, from people who have been through similar situations, from experts and professionals and counselors. You have implemented the strategies they suggested. You have worked harder and longer, pushing yourself beyond what is healthy, sacrificing sleep and rest and peace in desperate attempts to make something change. And still the situation remains stubbornly, impossibly stuck. So eventually you did what people do when they completely run out of options and energy and hope. You learned to live with it. You adjusted your expectations downward. You stopped hoping for breakthrough and started hoping just to survive another day. You convinced yourself that maybe this crushing burden is just your lot in life, your cross to bear, the thorn in your flesh that you have to accept. You built walls around the hope you once carried because hoping and being disappointed over and over and over was more painful than just accepting defeat and lowering your expectations to nothing. At least if you expect nothing, you cannot be disappointed, right? But while you were learning to live with impossibility, while you were adjusting to a diminished version of life, while you were building protective walls around your heart, I was preparing to demonstrate that nothing is impossible with me. I saw every tear. Not just the ones that fell publicly where people could witness your pain and offer sympathy. Those tears get acknowledged. Those tears get noticed and responded to. But I also saw the ones you cried in complete private when you finally had space to fall apart without anyone watching. The ones that came in the shower where the water could hide them. The ones that soaked your pillow in the middle of the night when darkness magnified every fear and made everything seem even more hopeless. The ones you wiped away quickly before anyone could see them and asked what was wrong because you did not have energy to explain. The ones you fought to hold back during the day because you could not let anyone see that you were breaking inside. So you smiled and functioned and pretended while your heart was shattering. The ones that came without warning at random moments when a memory surfaced unexpectedly, or a song played that connected to your pain, or something small reminded you of what you lost, or what you are missing, or what seems forever out of reach. I collected every single one. I did not let a single tear fall unnoticed. Each tear told me a story about what you are carrying. Each tear was a prayer that reached my heart, even when you had no words to go with it. Each tear became evidence in the heavenly court that your case required my supernatural intervention, that human solutions were insufficient, that natural means were inadequate, that you needed me to step in and do what only I can do. And now that intervention is being released. Now the breakthrough is beginning. Now heaven's response to your tears is manifesting in your circumstances. The impossibility you are facing has a specific name. For some of you, it is a medical diagnosis that came with devastating words attached to it. Words like terminal, irreversible, incurable, progressive. The doctor looked at you with sympathy in their eyes that told you the news was not good even before they spoke. And then, they delivered information that shattered your world. It showed you test results and scans and charts with numbers and images that made no sense to you but clearly meant something terrible. It pointed to shadows and markers and levels that indicated serious disease. They showed you statistics about survival rates and timelines. They talked about treatment options that might buy you some time, but came with harsh side effects and no guarantees. Treatment that might slow the progression, but would not cure you. They prepared you for the inevitable decline, for the loss of function, for increasing pain and weakness, for saying goodbye to life as you knew it. And you walked out of that office feeling like you had been handed a death sentence, like your future had just been stolen, like the life you were planning was suddenly canceled. The shadow of that diagnosis has been following you ever since, darkening everything, coloring every experience, stealing joy from moments that should be happy. Every small pain in your body makes you wonder if the disease is progressing faster than expected. Every moment of unusual fatigue makes you fear that you are running out of time quicker than the doctors predicted. Every treatment that fails or shows diminishing returns chips away at whatever fragile hope you were trying to maintain. You have been living in a state of constant low-grade fear about what is happening inside your body, about what the next scan will show, about how much time you have left. But I am the God who designed every cell, every organ, every system, every function that makes up your incredibly complex physical being. I wrote the book on human biology because I created it from nothing. I spoke and your intricate body came into existence with all its interconnected systems working in perfect harmony. And I am not bound by medical limitations. I am not constrained by what doctors say is possible or impossible. I am not stopped by diagnoses that carry labels like terminal or incurable. I am about to overwrite that diagnosis with my supernatural power. Healing is being released into your body right now. Not gradual improvement that doctors can attribute to the treatment protocol they prescribed. Not slight reduction in symptoms that gives you temporary relief, but does not address the underlying disease. I am talking about complete, undeniable, miraculous restoration that will cause medical professionals to search desperately for explanations they cannot find in any of their textbooks. The disease that was supposed to destroy you, that was supposed to cut your life short, that was supposed to steal your future, is about to be destroyed by my power. Healing is flowing into your body right now. For others of you, the impossibility is financial. You are drowning in debt that keeps growing no matter what you do to try to get ahead of it. The numbers just keep getting bigger instead of smaller. You have cut every possible expense you could think of. You stopped eating out. You canceled subscriptions. You wear old clothes and drive an old car and postpone purchases and do without things that other people consider normal. You have worked extra hours and taken on second jobs and side gigs, sacrificing time with family, sacrificing sleep, sacrificing health to try to bring in more money. You have sold things that had value or sentimental meaning. You have sacrificed and scrimped and done without. And still the numbers do not add up. The bills keep coming. The debt keeps accumulating interest. The collection calls keep coming. The pressure keeps building. You lie awake at night running calculations in your mind, trying once again to figure out how to stretch money that is simply not enough to cover what needs to be covered. You mentally rob Peter to pay Paul, moving amounts around in your head, trying to figure out what can wait another week and what absolutely has to be paid now. The stress has invaded every area of your life like a poison. It affects your sleep, stealing the rest you desperately need. It affects your physical health, manifesting in headaches and stomach problems, and tension that never releases. It affects your mood, making you irritable and short-tempered with people you love. It affects your relationships, causing fights about money, creating tension with your spouse, making you short with your kids when they ask for things. It colors every single decision you try to make about the future because you cannot see past the financial crisis of the present moment. How can you think about next year when you are terrified about next week? You have felt the shame that comes with not being able to provide adequately for yourself or your family the way you believe you should. The embarrassment of having to say no to your children when they ask for things their friends have. The humiliation of having to decline invitations because you cannot afford to participate. The guilt of not being able to give gifts or contribute to causes or help others because you barely have enough for yourself. You have felt the fear that wakes you up in cold sweats in the middle of the night. Fear about what happens when you cannot hold this together anymore. When the fragile system you have constructed collapses. When you run out of options and resources, and there is nothing left to cut and nowhere else to turn. The enemy has been whispering lies designed to destroy any remaining hope. Lies that this is your permanent reality, that you will never get ahead no matter how hard you work, that financial struggle is just your destiny, that you are cursed with poverty, that you might as well stop trying because nothing ever changes anyway. But I am about to demonstrate my ability to provide from sources you never imagined existed. I am about to show you that I am not limited by your income or your job situation, or the economy, or any natural factor. Resources are about to flow into your life from directions you were not even looking. Supernatural supply that not only meets your immediate crushing need, but actually begins to restore what the years of financial struggle have stolen from you. The opportunities you missed because you could not afford them. The experiences your family did not get to have. The margin in peace and security that poverty stole. Doors of financial opportunity are about to open. Favor is about to be released that positions you in places of blessing. Provision is about to manifest in your life. And you are going to transition from barely surviving, from constantly being in crisis mode, from living in fear about money, to actually thriving, to having enough and more than enough, to being secure and stable and at peace. For some of you, the impossibility that has been crushing you is relational. Your marriage has deteriorated over time to the point where you are living like roommates who share space rather than partners who share life. You go through the motions. You coordinate schedules and logistics about who is picking up kids and what needs to be done around the house. But the connection that once existed between you is gone. The emotional intimacy has been replaced by polite distance or cold silence or constant tension. The physical connection has died, and the space between you and bed might as well be a canyon. The communication that used to flow easily has broken down to nothing but necessary exchanges about practical matters. You barely talk anymore, and when you do, it is either surface-level niceties or it escalates into arguments that go nowhere. You look at this person you committed your life to, this person you stood before God and witnesses and promised to love and cherish through everything, and you wonder what happened to the person you fell in love with. Where did they go? When did they change? When did you change? How did you end up here in this cold, empty version of marriage that looks fine on the outside, but feels dead on the inside? The disappointment has had years to harden into resentment. The unmet expectations have stacked up into walls between you. The wounds caused by harsh words spoken in anger and selfish actions that prioritized self over spouse have created distance that feels impossible to bridge. You have tried counseling, but one of you was not really engaged, or you could not afford to continue, or it just did not seem to help. You have tried date nights, but they felt forced and awkward. You have tried initiating the conversation about what is really wrong, but it always ends in defensiveness or blame or more hurt. Nothing has changed. And now you are living with the quiet despair of being in a marriage that feels like it has flatlined. You wonder if this is just how it is going to be for the rest of your life. Or you secretly wonder if ending it would be better than continuing in this deadness. Or maybe your impossibility is not your marriage, but your child. That son or daughter who walked away from you and from everything you tried to instill in them. You raised them in the way they should go. You took them to church. You taught them right from wrong. You prayed over them and for them. You did everything you knew to do to give them a good foundation. And they rejected it all. They walked away from the faith. They walked away from the family. They walked away from the values you taught. You watch from a distance as they make destructive choices, and you feel completely powerless to stop them. You see them heading down a path that leads nowhere good, and your heart breaks because you know what is waiting at the end of that path, but they will not listen. You try to reach out and you get shut down. You try to have conversations and they blow up into arguments. The relationship you once had is gone, and you do not know how to get it back. You do not even know if they want it back. You lie awake praying and worrying and imagining worst-case scenarios. You jump every time the phone rings late at night, terrified it will be bad news. Or maybe it is a family division that has kept you separated from people you love for months or even years. A misunderstanding that spiraled out of control, a conflict that created a rift, a disagreement that turned into a full break. Words that were said in anger that cannot be unsaid. Actions that wounded deeply and broke trust. And now there is painful estrangement where there should be connection and support. You run into them occasionally and it is awkward and cold. Holidays are tense or you do not attend the same gatherings anymore. You see their posts on social media and you ache because you are shut out of their life. You have tried to fix it. You have reached out and been ignored or rejected. You have apologized and it was not accepted. You have waited and hoped and prayed until you ran out of energy to keep trying, and now you have resigned yourself to this being permanent. But I specialize in resurrections. I am the God who speaks to dead things and calls them back to life. I am about to breathe life back into relationships you declared dead. Parts that have been hardened by years of hurt and bitterness and unforgiveness are about to be supernaturally softened. Pride that has been the main thing blocking reconciliation. Pride that refuses to admit fault, or take the first step, or humble itself enough to try again, is about to be broken. Understanding is about to break through where there has been nothing but confusion and misinterpretation. Forgiveness is about to flow where there has been bitterness and resentment festering. And restoration is coming that will be so complete, so unexpected, so beyond what human effort could orchestrate, that everyone who knows your story will immediately recognize my hand in it. Some of you are facing impossibilities that involve closed doors, opportunities that make perfect sense, that align with your gifts and experience and education, that feel like the obvious next step in your career or ministry or purpose. But every attempt you have made to move through those doors has been blocked. You have submitted applications and they disappear into black holes, never even acknowledged. You have gone to interviews that seemed promising, where you felt like you connected well, where they seemed interested, where you left feeling hopeful, but then you get the rejection or you never hear back at all. You have put together proposals and presentations and pitched ideas, only to have them declined without adequate explanation. You have knocked on doors until your knuckles are raw and bruised. You have waited with patience that is worn threadbare. You have maintained hope until hoping started to feel foolish, like you are deluding yourself. And the enemy has been relentless in his taunting. He whispers that you missed your chance, that your window of opportunity closed while you were busy with other things. He tells you that your season has passed, that you are too old or too young or too inexperienced or too overqualified. He suggests that this door was never really meant for you anyway, that you were reaching above your station, that you should just settle for less and stop aiming so high. He makes you question whether you actually heard from me at all, or whether you made up the sense of calling and purpose you thought you had. But what you did not know, what you could not see from your limited vantage point, is that I closed some of those doors. Not to punish you or reject you or tell you that you are not good enough. Not because you did something wrong or missed my timing or lacked the faith to make it happen, but because what was behind those doors was not good enough for what I have planned for you. Those positions would have put you under leaders who would have stifled your growth and limited your potential. Those opportunities would have led you into situations that looked attractive on the surface, but would have drained the life and calling out of you over time. Those doors led to places that were not part of my design for your life, detours that would have delayed you from reaching where I am actually taking you. I closed them to protect you from settling for less than my best. I closed them to redirect you towards something better. And now I am about to open the door I had in mind all along. The door I have been preparing specifically for you. The door that has your name on it. It is bigger than what you were asking for. It comes with more responsibility but also more authority. It is better than what you are willing to settle for. It comes with favor that opens ways you could not open yourself. It comes with resources you did not have to scramble to find. It comes with influence that positions you to make the impact you have always wanted to make. It comes with connections to people who will champion you instead of competing with you. When this door opens, and it is about to open, you will walk through it and immediately recognize that this is beyond anything you could have arranged through your own networking or resume or interview skills or strategic planning. This opportunity is going to have my fingerprints all over it. Every detail is going to be so perfectly aligned with who you are and what you need and where I am taking you that there will be no question in your mind that this is divine orchestration. And you are going to be so grateful for every door that stayed closed, because you will finally understand that I was not withholding. I was redirecting. I was not denying. I was protecting. I was not late. I was strategic. Now I need you to understand something absolutely fundamental about the nature of breakthroughs, because your understanding of what a divine work actually is will determine whether you recognize what I am about to do in your life. A supernatural work is not just an unusual coincidence, not just a fortunate turn of events where things happen to work out favorably, not just good luck or being in the right place at the right time. A wonder is my direct, intentional, supernatural intervention in your natural circumstances. It is me overriding the normal course of events to produce an outcome that has absolutely no logical explanation apart from divine power at work. When I perform a miracle, I am not working within the system, trying to manipulate circumstances cleverly to engineer a favorable result for you. I am superseding the system entirely. I am stepping outside the natural order and imposing my will on reality. I am not bound by the natural laws that govern your physical world. I created those laws in the first place. They exist because I spoke them into existence, and they function according to the parameters I established. But I am not subject to them. I can override them anytime I choose. The impossibility you are facing right now is governed by natural laws and medical realities and financial principles and human limitations and statistical probabilities. Your situation operates according to predictable patterns. Diseases progress in certain ways. Financial debt accumulates according to mathematical formulas. Relationships follow psychological and emotional dynamics. Opportunities operate according to systems of qualification and competition. And according to all these natural governing principles, your situation is impossible. The evidence is overwhelming. The numbers do not lie. The medical facts are clear. The relational dynamics are established. It cannot be fixed. It cannot be changed. It is impossible. But I am not subject to any of those constraints. I am not limited by what is medically possible. I am not bound by financial mathematics. I am not restricted by psychological patterns or emotional dynamics. I am not confined to working within established systems and structures. And when I step into your situation with my supernatural power, all those rules and limitations and impossibilities bow to my authority. What was medically impossible becomes possible because I speak to your body at the cellular level and command healing to manifest. What was financially impossible becomes possible because I can create resources out of nothing, because I own everything anyway, and can move wealth from one place to another according to my purposes. What was relationally impossible becomes possible because I can change hearts that seemed permanently hardened, because I can heal wounds that seemed too deep to heal, because I can bring reconciliation where there seemed to be only permanent estrangement. What was circumstantially impossible becomes possible because I can rearrange reality itself to align with my purposes for your life. Your mind has been conditioned by a lifetime of living in a world where absolutely everything operates according to predictable patterns. From the time you were a child, you have been learning what is possible and what is not possible. You learned it through observation and experience. You learned that seeds planted in the ground grow into plants, but they grow at a certain rate, according to a certain timeline, and you cannot make them grow faster just by wanting them to or trying harder. You learned that wounds to your body heal, but they heal according to a certain process, and there is nothing you can do to dramatically speed up that process beyond keeping the wound clean and letting your body do what it does naturally. You learned that money comes from working, that you exchange your time and effort and skill for payment, and that the amount you can earn is limited by the hours you have available and the value the market places on what you offer. You learned that relationships require mutual effort from both parties, that you cannot force someone to love you or forgive you or reconnect with you, that it takes two people choosing to work on relationship for relationship to be healthy. Your entire understanding of reality has been shaped by these natural laws and human limitations. You have learned through decades of experience what is possible and what is not possible in the world you live in. And your current impossibility falls clearly, obviously, undeniably into the category of what is not possible according to everything you have learned and experienced. Every piece of evidence you can gather confirms it. Every rational thought process you can follow supports it. Every expert opinion you seek validates it. It cannot happen. The door is closed. The damage is too severe. The time has passed. The diagnosis is terminal. The debt is insurmountable. The relationship is dead. It is impossible. Completely, utterly, definitively impossible. And that is exactly the space where wonders live and operate. Right there in the gap between what is humanly impossible and what is divinely done. I am not limited by your medical history or your family's genetic predisposition to certain diseases. I am not constrained by your credit score or your employment status or your lack of education or connections. I am not dependent on the other person in your broken relationship deciding to change their mind or their heart or their position. I am not waiting for circumstances to improve or align favorably before I can move on your behalf. I do not need conditions to be perfect or even good before I can act. I do not require a clear pathway to be visible before I intervene. I do not need permission from the natural order. I speak, and reality rearranges itself to comply with my word. I speak a word, and impossibilities begin to dissolve like morning fog when the sun rises and penetrates it with heat and light. I intervene in a situation, and the entire trajectory shifts in a moment. What was heading toward destruction and death suddenly turns toward restoration and life. What was building toward failure and collapse suddenly transforms into success and breakthrough. Not because circumstances gradually improved over time through natural processes, but because I showed up, because I stepped into your reality, because I spoke into your impossibility. Right now, in this very moment, my supernatural power is moving toward your situation. You cannot see it yet with your natural eyes. Your physical senses cannot perceive what is happening in the spiritual realm. But that does not make it any less real or less certain. In the invisible realm where my authority governs absolutely everything, angels have been dispatched with specific assignments concerning your impossibility. Heavenly forces are moving right now with military precision to execute the orders I have given concerning you. Warriors of heaven are taking positions. Demonic resistance that has been blocking your breakthrough for months or years is being systematically dismantled. Spiritual strongholds that have been keeping your situation locked in place are being shattered by the power of my word. Doors that have been sealed shut by enemy opposition are being torn completely off their hinges. Obstacles that have been blocking your path forward are being cleared out of the way. Hearts that have been hardened like stone are being supernaturally softened. Minds that have been closed to truth are being opened. Circumstances that have been working against you are being turned to work in your favor. Provision that has been withheld is being released. Healing that has been delayed is being activated and set in motion. Restoration that seemed absolutely impossible is being initiated. All of this is happening right now in the spiritual realm, even though you cannot yet perceive any of it in your physical reality. But what happens in the spiritual realm always eventually manifests in the natural realm. What is established in heaven comes to pass on earth. What begins in the invisible becomes visible. The spiritual realm is actually more real than the natural realm you can see and touch. The natural realm is temporary and constantly changing. But the spiritual realm is eternal and established. And what I speak in the spiritual realm concerning your life will manifest in your natural circumstances. It is just a matter of time before what is already done in heaven becomes visible on earth. You have been waiting so long. The waiting has been absolutely excruciating. Every day that passed without any visible change chipped away at your hope like water slowly eroding stone. In the beginning you had strong hope, confident expectation that breakthrough was coming soon. But as days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months and months accumulated into years, that hope eroded bit by bit. You have marked time not by celebrations but by disappointments. Another treatment that failed to produce the results you were hoping for. Another job application that was rejected or ignored. Another conversation with your spouse or your child that went absolutely nowhere and left you feeling more hopeless than before. Another door that you knocked on with hope that stayed firmly closed. The passage of time has felt cruel. Each day has been a reminder that nothing is changing, nothing is improving. Nothing is breaking through. The impossibility remains just as impossible as it was yesterday, and the day before, and the month before. And during all that waiting, the enemy has been working overtime to convince you that this waiting is permanent, that this is just how your life is going to be from now on. He whispers that this impossibility is your new forever reality, that you need to stop hoping for change and just accept this as your fate. He tells you that change is not coming, that God has forgotten about you, that you are going to die in this desert without ever seeing the promised land. He suggests that you should stop hoping, because hoping is just setting yourself up for more pain, more disappointment, more heartbreak when nothing changes again. But what you could not see during all that waiting, what was completely invisible to your natural perception, is that I was working, not on a timeline that made sense to your human understanding, not with visible progress that you could measure and track and take comfort in. But I was working with absolute strategic precision in the spiritual realm behind the scenes of your life. I was moving pieces into position. I was working in hearts that needed to be prepared. I was shifting circumstances that needed to be aligned. I was arranging connections that needed to be made. I was preparing the ground for the transformation you need. Because sometimes, and this is hard to understand from your limited perspective, sometimes the supernatural act you are asking for would actually harm you if it came before certain things were in place, before certain character was developed in you through the fire of this trial, before certain people were positioned where they need to be. before certain lessons were learned that you could only learn in the valley, before certain dependencies on me were established that had to be forged through desperation. The waiting was not punishment for something you did wrong. The delay was not me being cruel or indifferent. The waiting was preparation, and now the preparation is complete. The foundation has been laid. The pieces are in position. The appointed time has arrived. The mighty work is being released. I need you to shift from waiting mode into receiving mode, because there is a critical difference between these two postures of heart. In waiting mode, you are passively, resignedly hoping that maybe someday somehow things might possibly change. You are not really expecting anything. You are braced for more of the same. You are protecting your heart from disappointment by keeping your expectations low or non-existent. You are going through the motions of life while the impossibility remains the crushing constant in your daily reality. In receiving mode, you are actively positioning yourself to accept what I am sending. You are opening your hands instead of clenching them in anxiety. You are lifting your eyes to watch for my movement instead of keeping them down staring at the impossibility. You are tuning your ears to hear my voice speaking hope instead of listening to the voices of limitation and fear and doubt. You are adjusting your expectations to align with my power instead of leaving them aligned with your past disappointments. You are choosing to believe that I am who I say I am and that I will do what I have promised, even when absolutely nothing in your visible circumstances has changed yet. This is not about pretending the problem does not exist. I am not asking you to deny reality or stick your head in the sand and act like everything is fine when it clearly is not. This is not about ignoring the very real pain and difficulty and impossibility you are facing. The diagnosis is real. The debt is real. The broken relationship is real. The closed door is real. I am not asking you to pretend otherwise. This is about recognizing that there is a reality beyond what your 5 natural senses can perceive, and that higher reality is governed by my unlimited power. There is a spiritual dimension to reality that is actually more real and more determinative than the natural dimension you can see and touch. And I operate in that spiritual dimension with absolute authority. Your medical diagnosis is real in the natural realm, but my healing power operates in a realm that supersedes and overrides medical science. Doctors can only work within the limitations of medical knowledge and human ability, but I created the human body. I designed it. I understand it at a level far beyond what any medical professional can comprehend. And I can speak healing into your body that overrides the disease process, that reverses damage that is supposed to be irreversible, that cures what is supposed to be incurable. Your financial crisis is real in the natural realm with all its stress and pressure and impossibility. But my provision flows from a realm of infinite supply that is not constrained by natural economic systems or market conditions or your employment status. I can cause resources to appear in your life from sources you never imagined. I can open doors of opportunity that were not available yesterday. I can cause people to think of you and bless you for reasons they cannot even explain. I can multiply what you have in ways that defy mathematical logic. Your broken relationship is real in the natural realm with all its pain and dysfunction and seeming permanence. But my restorative power operates in the realm of the human heart, where I can do what no amount of human effort or counseling or communication techniques can accomplish. I can soften a heart that has been hardened for years. I can heal wounds that go so deep they seem to define the person's identity. I can bring forgiveness where bitterness has taken root. I can restore love that died. I can resurrect connection that was severed. Your closed doors are real in the natural realm. The rejection emails are real. The lack of response is real. The opportunities that went to someone else are real. But my authority operates in a realm where I hold every key and control every access point. I can open doors that no human can shut. I can create opportunities where none existed. I can cause favor to rest on you that makes people want to say yes to you, even when it does not make logical sense for them to do so. The divine intervention that is coming into your life is not going to make sense to people who only understand natural processes and operate purely in the realm of logic and reason. They are going to try to explain it in natural terms. They are going to try to find rational explanations that fit within their naturalistic worldview. They are going to attribute what happens to coincidence or good timing or natural recovery that sometimes occurs, or circumstances that just happen to align favorably. They are going to construct logical narratives to account for what happened, because acknowledging that God supernaturally intervened, that the divine broke into the natural, that a supernatural move actually occurred, requires them to confront truths about the nature of reality that they are not ready to face. Accepting that miracles happen means accepting that there is a God who is active and involved, that the spiritual realm is real, that there are dimensions to existence beyond what science can measure, and many people are not willing to go there. But you will know, deep in your spirit, in that place where you connect with me, you will recognize my hand in what happens. You will see my fingerprints all over your breakthrough. You will know with absolute certainty that what happened could not have happened without divine intervention. There will be details and timing and connections that are too perfect to be coincidence. There will be elements that defy natural explanation. And you will know that this was me. This was my supernatural power breaking into your natural circumstances and doing what only I can do. And that knowing, that unshakable certainty that you personally witnessed my miraculous intervention in your impossibility, will become a foundation stone of faith that sustains you through every future challenge you face for the rest of your life. Because once you have personally witnessed my supernatural power breaking into your impossibility and doing what absolutely could not be done through natural means, once you have experienced firsthand that I really am the God who does impossible things, you can never go back to living as if I am limited by what seems humanly possible. Your entire framework for approaching problems will be transformed. When future challenges arise, and they will because you live in a fallen world, you will approach them differently than you did this one. You will not spiral into despair as quickly. You will not feel as hopeless, because you will have a reference point. You will remember what I did in this impossibility. You will think back to how impossible things seemed and how miraculously I intervened. And you will think, if God did that, if God brought me through that impossibility, then God can handle this too. Let me speak very specifically now about what I am about to do in the area of physical healing for those of you who are carrying sickness, disease, chronic pain, mysterious conditions that have baffled doctors, diagnoses that have been declared incurable by medical experts. I am about to release a wave of healing power into your body that targets the root of what is malfunctioning. Not just symptom management that makes you slightly more comfortable while the underlying disease continues to progress. Not just medications that treat symptoms without addressing causes. Not just slowing the progression of disease so it takes longer to kill you. I am talking about healing that goes to the cellular level, to the genetic level, to the very foundation of what is breaking down or malfunctioning in your physical body. That tumor that appeared on the scan, that mass that should not be there, is about to disappear. When they do the next imaging study, whether it is scheduled for next week or next year, they will find nothing where the tumor was. And they will question whether the first scan was a mistake or misread. They will wonder if the images got mixed up with someone else's file. They will suspect the equipment was malfunctioning. They will come up with every possible natural explanation because their medical training did not prepare them for tumors that vanish without treatment. But you will know, that was not a mistake or a mix-up or an equipment malfunction. That was a sign. That was me speaking to the cells in your body and commanding them to return to normal function. The cancer that has been spreading through your system, growing and metastasizing and threatening your life, is about to go into complete remission with no medical explanation for why. The treatments you have been receiving have not been working well enough to account for it. Or maybe you have not even started treatment yet. But the cancer is going to stop growing. It is going to start shrinking. And eventually it is going to be undetectable in your body. The autoimmune disease that has been attacking your own body, that has been causing your immune system to treat your healthy tissue as an enemy, is about to stop its assault. Your immune system is about to be reset and recalibrated to function the way I designed it to function. The chronic pain that has been your constant, unwanted companion for years, that wakes you up at night, that makes every movement difficult, that has stolen your quality of life and limited what you can do, is about to lift. Not just be slightly reduced or managed to a tolerable level. It is going to lift and leave. The inflammation that has been causing so much damage throughout your body, that has been the root of multiple symptoms and complications, is about to subside. The swelling is going to go down. The markers in your blood work that indicate inflammation are going to drop to normal levels. The organ that was failing, that was operating at reduced capacity, that doctors said would eventually require transplant or would cause your death is about to be restored to proper function. Tests are going to show that it is working better than it has in years, better than it should be working given how much damage existed. The system in your body that was breaking down, whether it is your cardiovascular system, or your digestive system, or your endocrine system, or your nervous system, is about to operate as it was originally designed to operate. I am releasing creative divine works, where what is not functioning will suddenly function, where what has been permanently damaged will suddenly be repaired, where what has been deteriorating progressively will suddenly be restored, where what is diseased will suddenly be made whole. This is not gradual improvement over months or years that could be explained by the body's natural healing processes, helped along by medical intervention. This is supernatural intervention that produces results that defy medical explanation and happen on a time frame that is impossible naturally. And when the doctors examine you again and find that what was there is no longer there, when they run their tests and discover that what was malfunctioning is now working properly, when they look at before and after scans side by side and cannot explain the dramatic difference, when they check and recheck your labs because the numbers do not make sense given your condition, they will have no category for what they are witnessing except deliverance. Some of them will resist that word because their scientific training rebels against it. They will search desperately for natural explanations. But others will acknowledge, whether publicly or privately, that what happened in your body goes beyond medical science, that this was divine intervention, and your body will become a testimony to my healing power. Some of you have been battling mental and emotional conditions that have been just as debilitating as any physical disease, though they are less visible and often less understood. Depression that has wrapped itself around your mind like heavy chains, making it hard to think clearly, making it nearly impossible to feel anything but darkness and heaviness and emptiness, making it difficult to imagine that life could ever feel different than this. It has been like living under a heavy wet blanket that suffocates joy and hope and motivation. You have fought against it. You have tried medication and therapy and lifestyle changes and spiritual disciplines. Some things have helped a little, but the depression is still there, still stealing life from you. Anxiety that has made every single day a battle just to function normally, that has filled you with constant dread about everything and nothing, that manifests in your body with racing heartbeat and shallow breathing and tension that never fully releases, that has stolen your peace and replaced it with relentless worry that cycles through your mind obsessively. You cannot shut it off. You cannot calm it down. It is exhausting to live with this level of anxiety all the time. Trauma that has kept you trapped in the past, unable to fully move forward into the present and future. Painful memories that replay on an endless loop in your mind. Flashbacks that transport you back to the moment of wounding as if it is happening again right now. Hypervigilance that keeps you constantly on edge, always scanning for danger, never able to fully relax. Triggers that seem to be everywhere. Innocent things that suddenly connect back to the trauma and send you spiraling. You feel broken. You feel like you will never be normal again. You feel like the trauma defined you and destroyed who you used to be. Grief that has stolen your capacity to experience joy or hope or excitement about anything. Everything is colored in shades of gray. Nothing feels good. You go through the motions of life, but you feel dead inside. You lost someone or something so significant that it feels like a part of you died with them. And you do not know how to live with this gaping hole in your life and in your heart. The grief is not getting better with time like people said it would. If anything, it is getting worse as the reality sinks in deeper that this loss is permanent. I am about to pour healing into your mind and emotions that will break the power these conditions have held over your life. The darkness that has been pressing in on your thoughts, that has made everything seem hopeless, is about to be penetrated by my light. And when my light shines into darkness, the darkness cannot remain. It has to flee. The chemical imbalances in your brain that have been contributing to depression, the neurotransmitters that are not functioning properly, are about to be corrected. Not just artificially propped up by medication, but actually healed and restored to proper function. The neural pathways in your brain that have been stuck in patterns of anxiety and fear, that have been reinforcing those patterns every time you experience anxiety, are about to be rewired. New pathways are going to form that lead to peace instead of panic. The emotional wounds from trauma that have been festering like infected wounds that never got properly treated are about to be healed at a depth you did not know was possible. Not just surface healing that puts a bandage on it, but deep healing that goes to the root and actually closes the wound and allows healthy tissue to grow. The grief that has felt like it would drown you, that has felt like an ocean you are lost in with no shore in sight, is about to be met with my comfort that brings genuine consolation. Not comfort that bypasses your pain or minimizes your loss, but comfort that enters into your pain with you and holds you while you grieve, and slowly, gradually brings healing to your broken heart. You are about to experience a lifting, a lightening, a clearing that will feel like stepping out of a dark room where you have been trapped for so long into brilliant sunshine. The oppressive heaviness that has been sitting on your chest, making it hard to breathe, is going to lift off. You are going to take a deep breath and realize you feel lighter than you have felt in longer than you can remember. The fog that has been clouding your thoughts, making it hard to concentrate or remember things or think clearly, is going to dissipate. Your mind is going to feel clear again. The numbness that has deadened your emotions, that has made you feel disconnected from yourself and from others, is going to give way to the ability to feel hope and joy and excitement again. You are not going to be numb anymore. You are going to feel alive again. The hypervigilance that has come from trauma, that has kept you constantly on edge and unable to relax, is going to calm as you experience the safety of my presence surrounding you. The irrational fears that have controlled you are going to lose their power as truth replaces the lies that the fears were built on. This does not mean you will never have another difficult day or another moment of anxiety or another wave of grief. Healing is not the same as never feeling negative emotions again. But the condition that has dominated and controlled your entire life, that has felt like a prison you could not escape, is about to lose its grip on you. It will no longer be your master. You will be free. For those of you facing financial impossibilities that have been strangling the life out of you, that have been stealing your peace and your sleep and your sense of security, I need you to understand something fundamental about my nature. I am not a God of barely enough. I am not a God who keeps you perpetually on the edge of financial disaster, always one emergency away from complete collapse. I am not a God who doles out just enough provision for you to survive, but never enough for you to actually live without constant stress and worry about money. That poverty mindset that has convinced you that financial struggle is your permanent destiny, that has made you believe that you will always be poor, that having enough is the best you can hope for, is a lie straight from the pit of hell. And I'm about to shatter that lie by demonstrating my ability to provide for you in ways that exceed your natural income and circumstances. I'm about to demonstrate that I am not limited by your paycheck or your lack of a paycheck. I am not constrained by the economy or market conditions or interest rates or any of the factors that financial advisors say determine financial reality. I own everything. The cattle on 1,000 hills belong to me. The silver and the gold are mine. The wealth of nations is mine to direct as I choose, and I can cause resources to flow into your life from sources you never expected, that you were not even aware existed. That check you stopped expecting, that money you were owed but wrote off as never coming, is about to arrive. That debt that you thought you would be paying for the rest of your life, that has been hanging over you like a dark cloud, is about to be supernaturally canceled. Somehow, some way, that debt is going to be resolved. Maybe someone pays it off as a gift. Maybe it is forgiven. Maybe it is settled for a fraction of what you owe. But it is going to be dealt with and removed from your life. That legal settlement or insurance claim that was supposed to take years to resolve, that you had given up on ever seeing, is about to come through. And it is going to be more than you expected. That opportunity for a position with a salary that seemed too good to be true, that you did not think you had any chance of getting, is about to be offered to you. And you are going to wonder why they chose you when there were other candidates with better qualifications. But I am going to put favor on you that causes them to want to hire you even though it does not make logical sense. That business idea you had, that dream of entrepreneurship that you dismissed because you did not think you had the capital or the connections or the knowledge to launch it, is about to become viable. Resources you need are going to become available. People with expertise are going to offer to help you. Doors are going to open, and that business is going to take off in ways that exceed even your most optimistic projections. That investment you made that seemed to lose value, that you thought was a mistake, that you have been kicking yourself for, is about to turn around and produce returns that shock you. The value is going to increase dramatically and unexpectedly. That inheritance you had no idea existed, that came from a relative you barely knew or did not even know you were related to, is about to be released to you. You are going to get a call or a letter that seems unbelievable at first. I am about to open financial floodgates in your life. Not a small trickle that barely meets your immediate need and still leaves you stressed about how you will manage next week. Floodgates. Provision that not only covers what you need right now in this moment, but actually begins to restore what the years of financial struggle have cost you. All the opportunities you missed because you could not afford them. All the experiences your family did not get to have because there was no money. All the margin and peace and security that poverty stole from you. I am about to begin restoring it. Provision that allows you to breathe again without the constant tightness in your chest from financial stress. Provision that allows you to plan further ahead than just the next bill that is due. Provision that allows you to dream about possibilities instead of being trapped in survival mode. Provision that allows you to be generous instead of always being the one in need of help. I am about to position you in places of financial favor where resources flow to you, not because you are grinding and hustling and exhausting yourself trying to make ends meet, not because you are working yourself into the ground trying to earn more, but because I am directing supernatural supply into your life as part of your inheritance as my beloved child. The lack mentality has to be broken off your thinking. It is a stronghold that has to be demolished. You have been conditioned by years of financial struggle to expect not enough, to automatically assume you cannot afford things, to budget for scarcity, to plan around limitation, to believe that if you manage to cover your immediate obligations without going further into debt, that is the best you can hope for, to think that getting ahead financially is for other people, but not for you, that some people are blessed with prosperity, but you are not one of them. That mindset is a prison. And I am about to break you out of that prison by upgrading your financial reality in ways you cannot currently imagine. You are about to transition from barely surviving, from constantly being in crisis mode about money, from living in fear about how you will pay bills, to actually thriving, to having enough and more than enough, to being secure and stable and at peace about your finances. And when this shift happens, when you begin to experience a level of financial stability and blessing that you have not known before, do not attribute it to finally getting a break, or to the economy improving, or to circumstances working in your favor. Do not credit it to your own hard work finally paying off. Recognize it for what it is: my supernatural provision flowing into your life, my favor opening doors, my blessing overtaking you, my faithfulness keeping my promises to provide for my children. Because I love you, and I delight in blessing my children, and I'm not stingy or withholding. For those of you who desperately need restoration in your marriage or your family relationships, I want you to hear my heart on this. I am about to do something supernatural in the heart of the person who has been resistant, cold, distant, hardened against you for so long. That spouse who has been emotionally checked out for months or years, who seems to have built impenetrable walls around their heart, who has been going through the motions of marriage but is not really present, is about to have an encounter with me that shifts their entire perspective. I am about to work in their heart in ways you could never accomplish through any amount of trying to connect or communicate or convince them to engage. Your efforts have been bouncing off those walls. But my power goes through walls. The walls they built to keep you out, the defense mechanisms they erected to protect themselves from more hurt, are about to come down. Not because you finally said the right thing or did the right thing, but because I am going to do in their heart what you cannot do. The resentment they have been holding on to, the grudges they have been nursing, the bitterness that has been poisoning your relationship, is about to be dissolved by my love flooding their heart. The attraction and affection that died years ago, that you thought was gone forever, is about to be resurrected. I am going to remind them of why they fell in love with you in the first place. I am going to cause them to see you through new eyes, to notice qualities in you they stopped appreciating long ago, to feel drawn to you again in ways they have not felt in years. I am going to soften their heart toward you. The criticism is about to turn to appreciation. The indifference is about to turn to engagement. The coldness is about to turn to warmth. The thoughts they have been entertaining about leaving, about divorce, about whether they would be happier with someone else, are about to be replaced with renewed commitment to stay and fight for your marriage, to work on rebuilding what has been broken, to create something even better than what you had before. This does not mean the restoration will be instant or effortless. This does not mean there will not be hard work required from both of you to rebuild trust and communication and intimacy. Supernatural works do not bypass personal responsibility or eliminate the need for intentional effort. But the supernatural shift in their heart that makes restoration possible, that opens them to the process, that gives you something to work with, that is about to happen. And when it does, when you start to see changes in them, when you experience them reaching toward you instead of pulling away, when you hear them speak words of affection instead of words of criticism, you will recognize that this is not something you manage to accomplish through your own efforts or manipulation. This is me intervening in your marriage and doing what only I can do. That child who walked away from you and from everything you tried to instill in them, who rejected your values and your faith and your family, is about to come to the end of themselves. The lifestyle they chose that looked so appealing, so free, so exciting, is about to reveal its true cost. The people they have been running with who seem so cool, so accepting, are going to reveal their true nature. The choices they have been making are about to produce consequences that bring them to a moment of crisis and clarity. They are going to hit bottom. And in that place of brokenness, when the facade falls away and they see the truth about where they are and where they are headed, they are going to remember. They are going to remember your voice. They are going to remember your prayers. They are going to remember the foundation of truth you laid in their life before they rejected it all and walked away. And I am going to use that memory as a lifeline to pull them back. They are going to feel a pull toward home that they cannot explain or resist. They are going to start thinking about the life they left behind. And eventually, they are going to make the decision to turn around and come back. The prodigal is coming home, not just physically showing up at your door, but spiritually and emotionally returning to you, to the faith, to the family. The reunion is coming, and I promise you it is going to be sweeter and more complete than anything you could have imagined during all those months or years of praying and worrying and wondering if you would ever see them again. Because I am going to give you supernatural grace to receive them well, to not crush them with, "I told you so," to not lecture them about all the pain they caused, to not make them grovel or prove themselves before you welcome them back. I am going to fill you with my unconditional love so you can receive them the way I receive you when you come back to me after wandering, with open arms and celebration. That family member who cut you off, who refused to speak to you, who has held a grudge for months or years, who has made every family gathering awkward and tense, is about to have a change of heart. The bitterness that has been eating away at them is about to be released. They are going to get tired of carrying it. The misunderstanding that caused the initial division is about to be cleared up. Someone is going to finally explain what really happened. Or they are going to see something from a different perspective that changes their interpretation of events. The pride that has been the main thing preventing them from reaching out, from admitting they were wrong or at least willing to work toward reconciliation, is about to be broken. Life is going to humble them. Circumstances are going to bring them low enough that pride loses its grip. I am about to orchestrate circumstances that bring you together, that create an opportunity for the conversation that needs to happen. It might be a family event that you both attend. It might be a crisis that requires you to interact. It might be a divine appointment that seems coincidental, but is actually my perfect timing. And when that conversation happens, when you are finally face to face without the ability to avoid each other, forgiveness is going to flow. Things that needed to be said are going to be said. Understanding that has been missing is going to break through. Hearts that have been closed are going to open, and the relationship is going to be restored. It may not look exactly like it did before the division. There may be new and healthier boundaries. The relationship may actually be better because the issues got forced to the surface and dealt with instead of being swept under the rug. But the painful estrangement is about to end. Let me address the spiritual warfare that has been raging around your impossibility, because you need to understand what has been happening in the realm you cannot see with natural eyes. Your struggle has not been just natural circumstances going wrong, or random bad luck, or a series of unfortunate events. There has been an actual spiritual battle taking place over your life and over your situation. Invisible forces have been warring in heavenly places. The enemy of your soul has been fighting fiercely to keep you trapped in this impossibility, and you need to understand why. It is not because he hates you personally, though he does. It is not just because he is evil and enjoys watching people suffer, though he is, and he does. The intensity of the spiritual battle you have been experiencing is directly connected to what is on the other side of your breakthrough. The enemy knows something about your future that you do not fully know yet. He knows what you are going to do when you come through this. He knows the testimony you are going to carry. He knows the anointing that is being forged in you through this fire. He knows the people you're going to reach. He knows the impact you are going to make for the kingdom. He knows the level of faith you are going to walk in after you personally witness me doing the impossible in your life. He knows how dangerous you are going to be to his kingdom. And he has been absolutely desperate to prevent you from reaching that place of breakthrough and walking in that level of authority and influence. So he has been working overtime to keep you stuck. He has been magnifying your impossibility to make it look even more impossible than it actually is. He uses your imagination against you. He gets you to picture worst-case scenarios, and then he convinces you that those nightmares are inevitable. He has been whispering lies designed specifically to destroy your faith, lies carefully crafted to match your particular vulnerabilities and insecurities, lies about how this is never going to change, about how you are going to be stuck in this crisis forever, about how this is just your lot in life and you need to accept it, lies about how I do not really care about your situation, that I'm too busy with more important matters to be bothered with your problems. Lies about how you do not deserve a restoration because of your past failures, because of that sin you committed, because you are not spiritual enough or faithful enough or good enough. Lies about how you should just give up because hoping is pointless and only leads to more disappointment and pain. He has been attacking your faith with doubt, planting questions in your mind designed to make you question my goodness, my power, my faithfulness. If God is good, why has he let you suffer like this? If God is powerful, why has nothing changed? If God is faithful, where has he been all this time? The doubt feels like it is coming from your own mind, from your own legitimate questions, but it is being fueled and amplified by demonic suggestion. He has been stealing your peace with anxiety and fear, bombarding you with worst-case scenarios, making you imagine terrible outcomes, keeping you in a state of constant worry. He has been isolating you, making you feel alone, convincing you that no one understands, that no one really cares, that you have to carry this burden by yourself. He has been working to cut you off from people who would encourage your faith and speak truth to you. He has been bombarding you with discouraging news and negative reports, making sure you see and hear everything that reinforces the impossibility. Every medical study about your condition, every statistic about people in your financial situation, every story about relationships like yours that ended in divorce. He feeds your mind with information designed to overwhelm you and convince you that change is impossible. He has been bringing up your past mistakes and failures, reminding you of every time you messed up, using your guilt and shame against you. He whispers that you are disqualified, that God cannot use someone like you, that you have wasted your life and your opportunities. He has been doing absolutely everything in his power to convince you that a miracle is not possible for you, that mighty works might happen for other people, but not for you, that your situation is too far gone, that you have waited too long, that you have made too many mistakes, that you simply do not qualify for divine intervention. But his time is up. The season of his influence over your situation is ending right now. The authority he has had to harass you and hinder you and hold you back is being revoked by my command, because I am stepping into your impossibility with my supernatural power that vastly exceeds anything the enemy has. And when I move, the enemy has to retreat. When I speak breakthrough over your life, every single demonic force that has been assigned to keep you stuck has to back off. They have no choice. They are subject to my authority. When I release my divine act power into your circumstances, every obstacle the enemy carefully erected to block you has to fall. When I open a door for you, no demon in hell can close it. They can try, they will try, but they will fail. When I speak healing over your body, every spirit of infirmity that has been attacking your health has to leave. When I command provision into your life, every spirit of poverty and lack has to flee. When I speak restoration over your relationships, every spirit of division and strife has to go. This is what is happening right now in the spiritual realm concerning your life and your situation. Enemy forces that have been camped around your life are being pushed back. Demons that have been whispering lies day and night are being silenced. Demonic strategies that have been working effectively to keep you bound are being systematically dismantled and exposed and rendered powerless. Spiritual attacks that have been relentless are being stopped. The onslaught is ending, and my power is taking over your situation. My angels are moving in where demons are being forced out. My presence is filling space that darkness occupied. My light is penetrating shadow. My truth is displacing lies. My peace is replacing torment. My hope is replacing despair. Angels have been assigned to you with very specific tasks related to your breakthrough. You cannot see them, but they are more real than the furniture in your room. Some angels have been assigned to protect you from attacks designed to prevent your mighty act from manifesting. The enemy is going to try to create crises and distractions and emergencies designed to overwhelm you right before your breakthrough comes. But these angels are going to block those attacks. Some angels have been assigned to remove obstacles blocking your path forward. Things that seemed immovable are about to be moved out of your way by invisible hands. Some angels have been assigned to arrange divine appointments and orchestrate circumstances that need to align for your breakthrough to fully manifest. They are working behind the scenes of your life right now, moving pieces into position, setting up connections, preparing the way. Some angels have been assigned to work in the hearts of people who are connected to your breakthrough. That doctor who will be amazed by your test results, that employer who will hire you, that person who has wounded you, who is about to reach out. Angels are working on their hearts right now, preparing them to play their part in your breakthrough. Some angels have been assigned specifically to minister strength and encouragement to you when your hope starts to waver, when you feel like giving up. They whisper truth to your spirit when lies are screaming in your mind. You cannot see these angels, but they are constantly active on your behalf. They do not need sleep or rest. They do not get tired or discouraged. They do not give up, and they are operating under direct orders from me concerning your impossibility. The angelic activity around your life has intensified in recent days. Heaven is moving with increased urgency and focus on your situation. The breakthrough is close. The divine work is imminent. And the spiritual realm is alive with activity designed to bring it to pass. In the realm of physical healing, angels are working right now at the cellular level in your body, implementing what I have spoken over you. They are targeting diseased cells and facilitating the death of those cells. They are promoting the growth of healthy cells to replace what was damaged or destroyed. They are regulating systems that have been malfunctioning, bringing them back into proper balance and rhythm. They are reducing inflammation. They are improving circulation. They are strengthening organs. They are repairing tissue. The healing has already been released from heaven. It already exists in the spiritual realm as an accomplished fact. Now it is being administered and implemented by angelic forces in your physical body. And soon, very soon, you will begin to feel it and see it and experience it, manifesting in your physical reality. In the realm of finances, angels are moving on the hearts of people who hold keys to your provision. They are creating thoughts in people's minds to bless you, to hire you, to invest in you, to give to you. They are arranging circumstances that will result in resources flowing into your life. That person who is about to think of you and send you money, they do not know why you just came to mind, but it was angelic prompting. That employer who is about to offer you the position, they are going to feel impressed to choose you even though other candidates looked equally qualified on paper. Angels are working in their decision-making process. Angels are opening doors of opportunity, removing barriers to those doors, creating favor for you in places where financial decisions are being made that will affect you. They are blocking schemes of the enemy designed to drain your resources or create new financial crises. They are protecting you from financial attacks. They are guiding you toward wise decisions and away from costly mistakes. In the realm of relationships, angels are working on hearts. They are softening hearts that have been hardened by offense and unforgiveness. They are creating moments of clarity where people suddenly see truth they have been blind to. They are removing demonic influences that have been fueling conflict and division and misunderstanding. They are promoting thoughts of reconciliation. They are orchestrating divine appointments where the right conversations will happen at the right time with the right tone. They are bringing to memory things that need to be remembered, good memories that have been buried under bad ones. They are creating hunger for restored relationship. They are preparing both parties for the reconciliation that is coming. In the realm of opportunity and open doors, angels are going before you right now, preparing the way for you. They are speaking to people you need to meet, creating curiosity about you, causing your name to come up in conversations. They are arranging circumstances that will position you in the right place at the right time to encounter the right people. They are removing obstacles and hindrances. They are creating favor that will cause people to want to say yes to you. They are ensuring that when the door opens, the timing will be perfect and everything you need will already be in place. You need to understand something crucial about how supernatural acts work. They do not happen in a vacuum disconnected from relationship with me. They happen in the context of intimacy with me. The miracle I am sending to you right now is not just about fixing your problem or relieving your pain or changing your circumstances. Those things will happen, but there is a larger purpose. This supernatural work is about you experiencing me in a way you have never experienced me before. It is about you encountering my nature, my character, my heart toward you. It is about demonstrating to you and to everyone who witnesses what I do in your life who I really am and what I am really like. Every wonder I perform is a revelation of my nature. Every supernatural intervention is a window into my heart. Every impossible situation I turn around is a demonstration of my character on display. When I heal your body, I am revealing that I am a compassionate God who cares about your physical suffering, that I am not some distant, transcendent deity who is disconnected from the pain of human existence, that I am close to you, that I am moved by your condition, that I have power over sickness and disease and death itself. When I provide for your financial needs in supernatural ways, I am revealing that I am a generous God who owns everything, that I am your provider and I take pleasure in meeting your needs, that I can create resources out of nothing, that I am not limited by natural economic systems, that you can trust me to take care of you. When I restore your broken relationships, I am revealing that I am the God of reconciliation, that I specialize in healing what has been torn apart, that I value connection and community, that I can change hearts and heal wounds and bring unity where there has been division. When I open doors for you that have been closed, I am revealing that I am sovereign over opportunities, that I position my children in places of influence and impact, that I have purposes for your life that I am going to accomplish, that I make ways where there seems to be no way. The transformation that is coming to your life right now is going to reveal aspects of my character and nature that you have not fully grasped yet. You are going to see my faithfulness in ways that permanently anchor your trust in me. You know in your mind that I am faithful. You believe the doctrine, but you are about to experience my faithfulness at such a personal level that it becomes the bedrock of your relationship with me. You will never doubt my faithfulness again after this. You are going to experience my compassion in ways that heal deep wounds in your heart that you did not even know were still there. Wounds from previous disappointments. Wounds from times you felt abandoned or forgotten. This supernatural act is going to heal those old wounds by demonstrating that I see you, I care, I am moved by your pain, I respond to your cries. You are going to witness my power in ways that forever change how you pray and how you approach challenges. You are going to know what I am capable of, not theoretically, experientially, and that knowledge is going to transform how you see me. You are going to know my love in ways that transform your identity and your sense of security. You are going to feel loved by me at a depth you have never felt before, and that experience of being loved is going to change how you see yourself and how you live. This mighty work is about so much more than getting relief from your current crisis, as wonderful as that relief will be. It is about giving you an encounter with me that changes everything. It is about providing you with a testimony that will strengthen your faith for every future challenge you face. It is about creating a defining moment in your history with me that you will look back on again and again whenever you need to remember who I am and what I am capable of doing. This is about establishing a memorial stone in your life that declares to you and to everyone who hears your story that I am the God who does impossible things for the people I love. So as this miracle unfolds in your life, as you begin to see evidence of my intervention, pay very close attention not just to what I am doing, but to what I am revealing about myself through what I am doing. Notice my character on display in the details of how the breakthrough happens. See my heart being expressed through my actions on your behalf. Let this divine intervention do more than just change your circumstances, as glorious as that change will be. Let it change how you know me. Let it deepen your understanding of who I really am beyond what you have read in books or heard in sermons. Let it expand your vision of what I am capable of doing. Let it transform your confidence in my goodness and my power and my faithfulness. Because the changed circumstances are wonderful and desperately needed, and you will be so grateful for them. But the deeper, more intimate knowledge of me that comes through the process of watching me move supernaturally in your impossible situation, that is the greater supernatural move. That is the gift that will sustain you for the rest of your life. Now, I want to address something that might be creating hesitation in your heart right now, as you hear me speaking about transformations beginning in your life. Some of you want to believe what I am saying. You want to hope. You want to open your heart to receive. But you are scared. You are terrified, actually. And I understand why. You have been disappointed before. You have had moments, maybe many moments, where you thought breakthrough was coming, where someone prophesied over you, or you felt something shift in your spirit, or circumstances seemed to be aligning, and you let yourself hope that this was it. This was finally your moment. Change was coming. And then nothing happened. Or things actually got worse. And the disappointment was absolutely crushing. It felt like being punched in the stomach, like falling from a height, like having hope ripped away just when you were starting to believe again. So you developed a protective mechanism, a defense against more disappointment. You keep hope at a distance now. You do not let yourself fully believe anything good is coming. You are skeptical of positive words spoken over you. You are cautious about any sense that things might be changing. Because you cannot survive another crushing disappointment. You cannot take another hit like that. Your heart is already so bruised and fragile. One more letdown, and you feel like something in you will break permanently. So you would rather expect nothing and be pleasantly surprised if something good happens than allow yourself to hope for something and be devastated when it does not materialize. At least if you expect nothing, you cannot be disappointed. That is your logic. That is your protection. I understand that fear. I really do. I am not angry at you for struggling to hope. I am not disappointed in your self-protective hesitation. I am not judging you for being cautious with your heart. I understand completely the weariness that comes from repeated disappointment. I see how many times you have gotten your hopes up and had them dashed. I know how much that has hurt. I know why you are scared to believe again. But I need you to hear this clearly. Listen to my words. This time is different, not because your faith is somehow stronger now than it was before, not because you finally prayed the right words in the right way, not because you have suffered long enough and now you have paid your dues, but because this is the appointed time for your breakthrough. There are times and seasons in my purposes. There are appointed moments when things shift from one season to another. There are divine timings when what was not possible yesterday becomes possible suddenly. And you have reached that appointed time. The season of waiting is ending. The season of breakthrough is beginning. I am not saying this to manipulate your emotions or get your hopes up for nothing. I am declaring to you what has already been determined in heaven. Your breakthrough has been set in motion. The sign is already in motion. And I am inviting you to position yourself to receive it by choosing hope one more time. I am asking you to risk being disappointed again by opening your heart to believe that I really am about to move in your situation. I know that is scary. I know every part of you wants to protect yourself from more pain. But here's something you need to understand. Staying closed off to hope, living with walls around your heart to keep disappointment out, that does not actually protect you from pain. It just guarantees that you will stay stuck in your current pain. Because hope is what creates space for divine acts to manifest in your life. Hope is what positions your heart to receive what I want to give you. Hope is the open door through which breakthrough can enter. And if you stay locked in self-protective unbelief, if you keep those walls up, if you refuse to hope because you are too afraid of being hurt again, you will miss the deliverance that is beginning now. The breakthrough will be released from heaven, but it will not be able to fully manifest in your experience because you will not be positioned to receive it. So I am gently, compassionately, but firmly asking you to lower the walls, to let yourself hope again, to take the risk of believing one more time even though you have been hurt before. to open your heart to the possibility that this time really is different, that this is truly your moment, that I am actually moving now. You do not have to manufacture confidence you do not feel. You do not have to pretend to have faith you do not have. You do not have to work yourself up into some emotional state. I am not asking for perfect faith or certainty about every detail or complete understanding of how it is all going to work. I am just asking you to be willing. Willing to hope. Willing to receive. Willing to watch for my movement. Willing to let me surprise you with my goodness. That is all. Just willingness. Just a small opening in your heart that says, I am afraid to hope, but I choose to hope anyway. I have been hurt before, but I am willing to risk being hurt again if it means I might receive the breakthrough I desperately need. That is enough. I can work with that. And as you take that risk, as you choose hope despite your fear, as you lower the walls and open yourself to receive, I am going to meet you in that vulnerable place. I am going to prove myself faithful to you. I am going to come through for you in ways that restore your trust. Not just your trust in miracles happening, but your trust in me. Your trust that I am good. Your trust that I do keep my promises. Your trust that I do not abandon my children. Your trust that I can be counted on. I am going to show you that you can hope in me without being destroyed. I am going to demonstrate that opening your heart to me is safe even when it feels terrifying. I am going to heal the disappointment from those previous seasons, even as I bring breakthrough in this season. You are going to look back and understand that those times when you thought I let you down, I was actually protecting you or preparing you or redirecting you. You did not see it then, but you will see it looking back from this new place of breakthrough. There are some practical things you need to do as this restoration begins to unfold in your life. These are not requirements you have to fulfill to earn the divine act. The mighty act is already yours. It has already been released. These are simply ways to position yourself to receive it fully and partner with what I am doing. First, stay connected to me in ongoing relationship. Do not get so consumed with watching for the breakthrough that you neglect spending time with me. Do not become more focused on the gift than on the giver. That is an easy trap to fall into. When you are desperate for breakthrough, it is natural to become fixated on seeing change happen. But I need you to keep your primary focus on me, not on your circumstances. Keep talking to me throughout your day. Keep worshiping me not because things have changed yet, but because of who I am. Keep reading my word and letting it shape your thinking. Keep spending time in my presence, just being with me. Walk through this season of breakthrough with me as your closest companion. Do not just wait for me to deliver a divine work and then go back to neglecting our relationship until the next crisis. Second, stay connected to community. Do not isolate yourself during this season. The enemy will try to convince you to withdraw, to pull back from people, to deal with this alone. But isolation makes you vulnerable to his attacks. You need other believers around you who can encourage your faith when yours is wavering, who can pray with you and for you, who can speak truth to you when lies are swirling in your mind, who can remind you of my faithfulness when you are struggling to remember, who can celebrate with you as you begin to see evidence of my intervention. So stay plugged into your church community. Stay connected to friendships with other believers. Let people into what you are going through. Do not pretend everything is fine when you are struggling. Be honest about where you are. Let people carry this burden with you. That is what the body is for. We are not meant to walk through trials alone. Third, guard your mouth carefully. The words you speak matter more than you realize. They have creative power. They shape reality. They influence your faith. They impact the spiritual atmosphere around your life. So you need to be very intentional about what you are speaking. Start declaring my promises over your situation instead of just describing how bad things are. Yes, acknowledge reality. I am not asking you to deny what is true, but do not only speak about the problem. Start speaking about my power. Start declaring what I have said about healing, about provision, about restoration, about breakthrough. Speak those promises out loud over your life and your situation. Start thanking me for the supernatural work that is beginning even though you cannot see full evidence yet. Gratitude is a powerful spiritual force. It shifts atmosphere. It strengthens faith. It positions you to receive more. Start testifying about what you are seeing me do even when it is small. When you notice any shift, any change, any improvement, any open door, any answer to prayer, no matter how minor it seems, speak about it. Tell someone what you are seeing. Thank me out loud for it. Declare it. Because testimony locks in what I am doing. It anchors the breakthrough. It prevents the enemy from stealing the seed of miracle that is beginning to grow. Your words matter. Use them strategically. Do not speak doubt and unbelief and complaint and despair. Those words empower the enemy and weaken your faith. Speak faith and hope and gratitude and expectation. Those words align you with what I am doing and create atmosphere for signs to flourish. Fourth, watch for my instructions. As this wonder begins to unfold, I might give you very specific things to do, not because your obedience earns the transformation, but because I often work through partnership with you. I might direct you to reach out to a specific person. I might prompt you to take a particular action that seems random or illogical. I might lead you to a certain place or event. I might instruct you to give something or say something or change something in your routine or habits. Stay sensitive to my leading. Do not get so locked into your expectations of how the supernatural act should happen that you miss my actual instructions about how it is going to happen. I rarely work the way people expect me to. My ways are higher than your ways. I often use methods that surprise people. I might lead you in directions that do not make natural sense. I might ask you to do things that seem strange or even contradictory to logic. But my ways work even when they do not make sense to your natural mind. So be willing to obey even when you do not understand. Be willing to follow even when the path does not make sense. Be willing to step out in faith even when it feels risky or foolish. Fifth, be patient with the process. When I said mighty acts begin now, I meant it. The miracle is beginning in this moment. The supernatural intervention is being released. But beginning does not always mean instantly completed. There is often an unfolding that happens. A process, progressive changes, stages, and steps. Do not get discouraged if you do not see full manifestation immediately. Do not lose faith if the change happens more gradually than you expected or hoped for. Just keep watching for evidence that I am moving. Keep noticing the shifts even when they are small. Keep thanking me for every step of progress. Keep holding on to hope even when the full breakthrough has not appeared yet. The mighty work is in motion. It has been set in progress. And it will continue to unfold as long as you keep cooperating with what I am doing instead of giving up, because it is not happening as fast as you wanted it to, or in exactly the way you pictured it. Sixth, prepare for intensified opposition in these final moments before breakthrough. This is important to understand. When I start moving breakthroughs in your life, the enemy does not just surrender peacefully. He does not accept defeat and walk away quietly. He intensifies his attacks. He tries harder to discourage you. He works overtime to steal your divine intervention before it fully manifests. He knows he is losing, but he is going to make one last desperate attempt to prevent your breakthrough. So be prepared for spiritual warfare to actually increase right before the supernatural move manifests fully. Be prepared for attacks on your faith, designed to make you doubt that anything is really changing. Be prepared for sudden crises or emergencies or problems designed to overwhelm you and distract you from watching for my movement. Be prepared for the enemy to whisper that this is just like all the other times, that you were foolish to hope again, that nothing is actually different. But do not be afraid of those attacks. I am with you. I am fighting for you. I am greater than any weapon the enemy can form against you. Every attack he launches will ultimately fail because I have spoken breakthrough over your life, and my words cannot be overturned by enemy opposition. His attacks might create some temporary turbulence, but they cannot stop what I have set in motion. So when you experience those attacks, and you will, recognize them for what they are. Desperate last gasp of an enemy who knows he has lost. Do not let them shake you or discourage you. Stand firm. Hold on to faith. Keep declaring truth. Keep watching for my movement. The attacks are actually evidence that breakthrough is very close. The enemy only fights this hard when he is trying to prevent something significant. Seventh, and this is crucial, get ready to give testimony. When this sign fully manifests in your life, when the impossibility is overturned, when the breakthrough is undeniable, people are going to notice. People are going to ask questions. What happened? How did this change? They are going to want to know your story. And you need to be prepared to give me glory. You need to be ready to point people to me, not to yourself. This was not your doing. This was not because you finally figured something out or worked hard enough or believed strongly enough. This was my supernatural intervention, and people need to know that. Your deliverance is not just for you. It is for everyone who will hear your testimony and have their faith strengthened. It is for people who are in similar impossibilities who will hear what I did for you and think, maybe God will do that for me too. It is for my glory to be demonstrated in the earth. So do not hide your miracle. Do not downplay what I have done. Do not try to explain it away with natural explanations to avoid sounding too religious or extreme. Tell the truth about what happened. Tell people that you were facing an impossibility. Tell them how desperate you were. Tell them how you cried out to me. Tell them how I moved supernaturally. Give specific details that demonstrate this was not coincidence or natural circumstances. Point people to me. Let your restoration become a testimony that builds faith in others and brings glory to my name. That is part of why I do wonders publicly instead of privately. Not just to help the individual, but to create testimonies that strengthen the faith of many and reveal my nature to people who need to know me. As we move toward the conclusion of this message, I want to leave you with final encouragement that I need you to carry with you as you walk out of this moment and into what comes next. The divine act that is beginning in your life right now is going to exceed your expectations. I need you to hear that and let it sink deep into your heart. It is going to be bigger than what you have been imagining. It is going to be better than what you have been hoping for. It is going to be more complete, more thorough, more transformative than what you dared to believe was possible. Because I am not a God who does the bare minimum. I am not a God who gives you just enough to scrape by and no more. I am not a God of scarcity who carefully portions out blessings in tiny measured amounts. I am a God of abundance. I am a God of overflow. I am a God of more than enough. I am a God who does exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or even imagine. And that is what you are going to experience as this mighty act unfolds in your life. The healing I bring is not going to be partial improvement that still leaves you dealing with significant limitations. It is going to be complete restoration that brings you back to full health and function. The provision I release is not going to be barely enough to meet your immediate need while you continue to stress about next week. It is going to be more than enough, provision that gives you margin, that allows you to breathe, that creates security and stability. The doors I open are not going to be narrow, difficult doors that you have to squeeze through with great effort. They're going to be wide, accessible doors that swing open easily before you. The relationships I restore are not going to be fragile, conditional reconnections that could break again easily. They are going to be strong, healthy relationships built on solid foundations. The breakthrough I bring is not going to be temporary relief that only lasts a little while before you are back in crisis. It is going to be lasting transformation that changes the trajectory of your entire life. Everything I am about to do in your life bears the mark of my generous, abundant, overflowing nature. That is who I am. I do not hold back. I do not give grudgingly. I do not bless in small measured amounts. When I move with power. When I give abundantly. When I open doors, I open them widely. When I provide overflow. When I restore completely. When I heal thoroughly. So expand your expectations. Stop thinking small. Stop limiting me in your mind with your low expectations. Stop settling for imagining barely enough breakthrough. Start thinking bigger. Start believing for complete healing, not just slight improvement. Start expecting abundant provision, not just scraping by. Start hoping for wide open doors, not just narrow, barely open possibilities. Start believing for total restoration, not just tolerable coexistence. Start imagining lasting transformation, not just temporary relief. Because that is the level of breakthrough that is beginning now in your life. That is what I am releasing. And I do not want your small thinking to cause you to miss the magnitude of what I am doing. I love you. I need you to know that and believe that deep in your core. I have always loved you. From before you were born, before you knew my name, before you did anything to earn or deserve it. I loved you. I loved you when you were running from me, I loved you when you were living in rebellion. I loved you when you were making choices that broke my heart. I loved you through every mistake you made. I loved you through every failure. I loved you through every sin. My love for you has never wavered, never diminished, never been conditional on your performance. It does not increase when you are good and decrease when you fail. It is constant, unchanging, unconditional, unfailing. And that same love that pursued you and drew you to me, that same love that forgave you and cleansed you, that same love that has carried you through everything you have been through, that love is what is moving me to release this miracle into your life now. I am not doing this because you earned it by being good enough or faithful enough or spiritual enough. You have not earned this. You cannot earn divine works. They are gifts of grace. I am not moving in your situation because you finally got your life together, or fixed all your issues, or achieved some level of righteousness that qualified you. I am not waiting for you to be perfect before I intervene. I am moving because I love you. That is the only reason. My compassion for you has been stirred. My heart has been moved by your pain and your struggle and your tears. I cannot stand to watch you suffer under this impossibility anymore. So I am stepping in to do what only I can do. This divine work is an expression of my love for you. It is a demonstration of my heart toward you. It is evidence of how much you matter to me, and I want you to receive it as such. Not as something you achieved or earned, not as a reward for faithful service or good behavior, but as a gift of love from your Father who delights in blessing His children. So open your heart, let the walls down. Open your hands that have been clenched in anxiety and stress. Open your life to receive what I am giving you. Let the supernatural work that begins now transform every area that has been broken. Let my supernatural intervention restore what has been lost and stolen. Let my power turn your impossible situation into a testimony of my faithfulness. Let my love heal the deep wounds that life has inflicted on you. Let my grace lift you out of the pit of despair where you have been trapped. Let my provision supply every need you have been worried about. Let my healing flow through every part of your body that has been suffering. Let my restoration mend every relationship that has been torn apart. Let my breakthrough shatter every limitation that has been holding you back. This is your moment, not because of anything you have done, but because of who I am and how much I love you, and because the appointed time has come. This is your season. The season of impossibility is over. The season of breakthrough has begun. This is your time. The time of delay is finished. The time of manifestation has arrived. The wonder begins now, not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Believe it. Receive it. Watch for it. Thank me for it. Testify about it. And watch as the impossible becomes possible right before your eyes. If this message has touched your heart in the place where you needed to be touched, if you heard the Father's voice speaking directly to your impossible situation, I want to encourage you to do something important. Share this message with someone who needs to hear these words. Someone in your life is facing an impossibility right now. Someone you know has been praying desperately for a transformation. Someone close to you has been losing hope that anything will ever change. This message might be exactly what they need to hear to keep believing for one more day. It might be the word that reignites hope in their heart. It might be the encouragement that gives them strength to hold on a little longer. Share it with them. Send them this video. Tell them you thought of them when you heard it. Let them know that supernatural works are still possible, that God has not forgotten them, that breakthrough is coming, that their impossibility is not permanent. And if these words resonated deeply with your own situation, if you felt God speaking directly to what you are carrying, I want to invite you to make a declaration of faith right now. Type the word Amen in the comments. That might seem like a small thing, but it is actually powerful. That simple act of typing Amen is you agreeing with what God is speaking over your life. It is you saying yes to the miracle that begins now. It is you opening your heart to receive the supernatural intervention that is being released. When you agree with what God is saying, when you align yourself with His word, you position yourself to receive what He is releasing. There is power in agreement. There is power in declaration. So type Amen right now. Do not hesitate. Do not overthink it. Just type it. Let it be your act of faith, your statement of belief, your agreement with heaven, your opening of the door to receive. Then I want you to do something else. In the comments, tell me what supernatural act you are believing God for. What is your impossibility? Is it healing in your body? Is it financial breakthrough? Is it restoration in your marriage or your family? Is it doors opening in your career? Whatever your impossibility is, write it out. Not so I can see it, though I will pray for you when I see your comment, but so you can make a public declaration of what you are believing God to do. There is power in speaking out what you believe. There is power in making your faith public instead of keeping it private. When you write out what you are believing for, you are planting a stake in the ground. You are making a statement to yourself, to the spiritual realm, to anyone who reads your comment, that you believe God is going to move in your situation. You are creating a point of reference that you can look back on when the breakthrough manifests, and you can testify about what God did. So type it out. I am believing God for healing from this disease. I am believing God for supernatural provision to pay off this debt. I am believing God to restore my marriage. I am believing God to bring my prodigal child home. I am believing God to open doors for the opportunity I need. Whatever your impossibility is, declare that you are believing God for breakthrough. And then watch. Pay attention. Look for evidence of my movement. Notice the shifts even when they are small. Thank me for every change. And as you do, you will witness the progressive unfolding of the mighty work that began when heaven moved on your behalf, when God's compassion was stirred, when divine intervention was released. The divine intervention begins now and will continue until your impossible circumstance has been completely transformed into a testimony of God's faithfulness and power and unfailing love for you. Before you leave this video, I want to invite you to do one more thing if you have not already. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. God has more words for you, more encouragement, more promises, more hope, more breakthrough. This is not the only message He has for you. There are more words coming that are going to speak directly to where you are and what you need. So make sure you do not miss them. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you are alerted when new messages are posted. And keep coming back to hear what God is saying to His people. God is not done with your story. The chapter you are in right now is not the end. It is not even close to the end. There are chapters ahead that you cannot imagine yet. Chapters of victory and breakthrough and blessing and testimony. The impossible situation you are facing right now is not your destiny. It is not where you are going to stay. It is not the final word on your life. The pain you have been carrying is not permanent. It has an expiration date. The lack you have been experiencing is not your portion. Abundance is coming. The sickness you have been battling is not your fate. Healing is being released. The broken relationships are not beyond repair. Restoration is on the way. The closed doors are not the final word. New doors are opening. God specializes in turning impossible situations around. That is what He does. That is who He is. He is the God of mighty works. He is the God of supernatural intervention. He is the God who steps into hopeless circumstances and creates hope. He is the God who enters impossible situations and makes them possible. He is the God who brings life out of death, light out of darkness, joy out of sorrow, beauty out of ashes, victory out of defeat. And He is stepping into your situation right now, not to make it slightly better, not to help you cope with it a little more easily, but to completely transform it, to turn it around, to do the impossible. So hold on. Keep believing. Do not give up. Do not lose hope. Do not surrender to despair. Do not let the enemy convince you that nothing is going to change. Do not let past disappointments steal your hope for this moment. Do not let fear keep you from opening your heart to receive. Your supernatural move is beginning now. It is in motion. It has been set in progress. You might not see full manifestation yet, but it has started. Things are shifting in the spiritual realm. Angels are moving. Demons are being pushed back. Obstacles are being removed. Doors are opening. Hearts are being softened. Circumstances are being rearranged. Resources are being released. Healing is being activated. Provision is on the way. Restoration is in motion. Breakthrough is unfolding. And soon, very soon, you are going to see in the natural what has already been established in the spiritual. You are going to witness the miracle with your own eyes. You are going to live the testimony. You are going to experience the breakthrough. You are going to look back and recognize this moment as the turning point, the moment when everything changed, when the impossible became possible, when the sign began, when God moved supernaturally and altered the entire trajectory of your story. That is happening now, right now. Do not miss it by focusing only on what still looks wrong in your circumstances. Do not miss it by being too discouraged to notice what is beginning to shift. Do not miss it by being too afraid of disappointment to open your heart to hope. Pay attention. Watch carefully. Notice the small changes. Thank God for every shift. Declare what you see Him doing. Testify about the evidence you are witnessing. And as you do that, as you partner with what God is doing by noticing and declaring and thanking, you will witness the progressive unfolding of the deliverance that began in this moment, the restoration that began when heaven moved on your behalf, the divine act that began when God's compassion was stirred over your situation, the mighty act that began when divine intervention was released from the throne room into your earthly circumstances. The breakthrough begins now and will continue to manifest and unfold until your impossible circumstance has been completely transformed into a powerful testimony of God's faithfulness, God's power, and God's unfailing love for you. Receive it, believe it, watch for it, and get ready to give God all the glory when the breakthrough fully manifests, and everyone who knows your story can see that this was God. Let me speak one more time directly to the specific impossibilities that some of you are carrying, because I want you to feel the weight of my personal attention to your individual situation. For those of you who have been told by doctors that your condition is terminal, that you have months or maybe a year or two at best, I want you to hear me clearly. I am not intimidated by terminal diagnoses. I am not bound by medical timelines. I am not limited by what disease has done to your body. I have watched you receive that news. I saw your world crumble in that moment. I felt your terror. I witnessed your grief for the future you thought you were going to have that suddenly got ripped away. I have been with you through every moment since then, through every treatment, through every side effect, through every scan that showed progression instead of improvement, through every conversation where you had to tell people you love what you are facing. I have been there, and I am telling you now that terminal is not my final word over your life. Medical impossibility is not my verdict. I am about to demonstrate that I have authority over disease and death. Your body is going to be healed. That terminal diagnosis is going to be overturned. You are going to outlive the timeline they gave you. And eventually you are going to stand before those same doctors who delivered the terminal verdict, and they are going to examine you and find no trace of the disease that was supposed to kill you. And in that moment, you are going to give me glory. For those of you whose financial situation has deteriorated to the point where you are facing bankruptcy, or foreclosure, or repossession, or complete financial collapse, where you are barely holding on by your fingernails, and you know you cannot hold on much longer, I see exactly where you are. I know the notices you have been receiving. I know the calls you have been avoiding. I know the debt collectors who have been harassing you. I know how many times you have robbed Peter to pay Paul, and now both Peter and Paul are demanding payment and you have nothing left. I know you have been doing math in your head, constantly trying to figure out how to make it work, and the math does not work. I know you have been terrified about losing your home or your car or having your utilities shut off or filing for bankruptcy, and what that will mean for your future. And I am telling you that I am about to intervene. Financial collapse is not going to happen. Bankruptcy is not your destiny. That home is not going to be foreclosed. That car is not going to be repossessed. I am about to bring provision from sources you cannot see right now. Resources are about to become available. The debt is about to be resolved. Relief is coming. Not barely enough to delay the inevitable for a few more weeks, but actual breakthrough that changes your financial trajectory. For those of you whose marriage has deteriorated to the point where divorce papers have been filed or seriously discussed, where one or both of you has given up, where you are sleeping in separate rooms, or one of you has moved out, where attorneys have been contacted and assets are being divided and custody is being negotiated, I am telling you it is not over. I know it looks over. I know it feels over. I know everyone around you may be telling you it is over and you need to accept it and move on. But I specialize in resurrecting dead marriages. I bring life to relationships that everyone else has pronounced dead. I can change the heart of the spouse who is completely checked out. I can heal wounds that seem too deep to heal. I can restore love that died. I can rebuild trust that was shattered. I can bring you back together in ways that create something even stronger than what you had before. So do not sign those papers yet. Do not finalize that divorce. Give me time to work. Give me space to move in both of your hearts. What looks dead to you is not dead to me. Where you see a corpse, I see resurrection potential. Maybe your child is so far gone into addiction or destructive lifestyle that you have lost all contact, where you do not even know if they are alive or dead, where they have cut you off completely and you have no way to reach them, where your worst nightmares about what could happen to them play in your mind constantly. I am telling you that I have not lost track of them. They may be lost to you, but they are not lost to me. I see exactly where they are. I know what they are doing. I know the danger they are in. And I am working. I have assigned angels to protect them from the worst consequences of their choices. I am positioning people to speak truth to them. I am allowing circumstances that will bring them to the end of themselves. I am going to create a moment of crisis and clarity where they see the truth and choose to turn around. And they are coming home. The prodigal return is coming. You are going to get that call or that knock on the door. And when you see them again, you are not going to recognize them at first, because they will look so different, healthy, sober, clear-eyed, repentant, and you are going to fall on their neck and weep and welcome them home. That reunion is coming. For those of you who have been unemployed for so long that you have sent out hundreds of applications and had countless interviews and nothing has worked out, where your savings are exhausted, where unemployment benefits have run out, where you are facing the reality of not being able to pay your bills or feed your family, where you feel worthless and rejected and like you will never work again, I am telling you that the right opportunity is about to present itself. Not just any job. The right job. The one that uses your gifts. The one that pays what you need. The one that fits your season of life. The one that opens up new possibilities for your future. It is coming soon. Very soon. You are going to get a call or an email that leads to an interview that leads to an offer that is better than what you were hoping for. And you are going to start that new position, and you are going to thrive in it. The season of unemployment and rejection is ending. The season of favor and provision and purpose is beginning. Perhaps you have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease that has been attacking your body, causing inflammation and pain and damage throughout multiple systems, where medications are not working well enough, where you have been to specialist after specialist and no one can give you answers about why this is happening or how to stop it, where you have been watching your body break down and you feel betrayed by your own immune system. I am speaking healing over you right now. I am commanding your immune system to stop attacking your own tissue. I am resetting it to function properly. The inflammation is going to go down, the pain is going to decrease and eventually disappear. The damage that has been done is going to be repaired. Your body is going to begin functioning the way I designed it to function. You are going to get your life back. The activities you had to stop because of your condition, you are going to be able to do them again. The energy that has been stolen by constant inflammation and pain, it is going to return. You are going to feel like yourself again. For those of you who have been battling infertility, who have been trying to conceive for years, who have been through failed treatments and procedures, who have spent thousands of dollars and endured so much physical and emotional pain, who have watched everyone around you get pregnant easily while you remain empty, who have grieved every time your cycle starts again, who have wondered if you will ever hold your own child. I am telling you that your womb is not closed forever. The barrenness is not permanent. I am the God who opens wombs. I gave Sarah a son in her old age. I gave Hannah a son after years of barrenness. I gave Elizabeth a son when she was far past childbearing years. And I am about to give you the child you have been praying for. Your season of waiting is ending. Your season of fruitfulness is beginning. The promise I gave you is about to manifest. You are going to conceive. You are going to carry that baby to term. You are going to deliver a healthy child. And you are going to hold that miracle in your arms and weep with joy. I also see those facing legal battles that seem unwinnable, where you are up against powerful opponents with more resources and better attorneys, where the system seems stacked against you, where you are facing judgments that could destroy your future. I am telling you that I am the ultimate judge. I sit in the highest court, and I am about to move in your case. Evidence is going to come to light. Witnesses are going to come forward. Your opponent is going to make mistakes. The judge or jury is going to rule in your favor in ways that shock everyone, including your own attorney. Because I am going to move in that courtroom. I am going to influence hearts and minds. I am going to bring truth to light, and you are going to walk out of that courtroom with a verdict that vindicates you. And if you have been diagnosed with cancer, and you are in the middle of treatment that is brutal, that is making you sick, that is stealing your hair and your strength and your quality of life, that is offering hope of remission but no guarantees, I am telling you that you are going to be completely healed. The cancer is going to go into full remission. Eventually, you are going to be declared cancer-free. But more than that, I am going to heal the damage the cancer and the treatment have done to your body. I am going to restore your strength. Your hair will grow back. Your energy will return. And you are going to come out of this season healthier and stronger than you were before the diagnosis. You are going to beat this, not just survive it, thrive after it. There are also those struggling with mental illness that has been treatment resistant, where you have tried multiple medications and therapies and nothing has worked adequately, where you are still suffering despite doing everything the doctors have told you to do, where you are starting to lose hope that you will ever feel normal again. I am about to break through where treatment has failed. I am going to heal your mind. The chemical imbalances are going to be corrected. The thoughts patterns are going to be renewed. The darkness is going to lift. The peace that has been stolen from you is going to return. You are going to feel like yourself again, like the person you were before the illness, or maybe even better than that person, because you will have been through fire and come out refined. I could go on and on addressing specific situations because I see all of them. Every impossibility that every person reading this is facing. I see them all, and I am moving in all of them. Your specific situation might not have been mentioned here, but that does not mean I am not moving in it. I am. The divine work that begins now is for you. Whatever your impossibility is, however hopeless it looks, however long you have been stuck in it, however many times you have tried and failed to change it, I am stepping in now. I am intervening. I am releasing supernatural power into your circumstances. The breakthrough is coming. The supernatural work is manifesting. The impossibility is being overturned. So receive these words as a personal prophetic declaration over your life. This is not generic encouragement. This is me speaking directly to you about your situation. I know what you are facing. I know how desperate you are. I know how long you have waited. I know how many tears you have cried. I know how many prayers you have prayed. I know how close you are to giving up. And I am telling you, do not give up. Do not quit now. You are so close. The breakthrough is right there. Just hold on a little longer. Keep believing. Keep praying. Keep watching for my movement. Keep thanking me for what I am doing, even though you cannot see it all yet. Keep declaring my promises. Keep speaking faith. Keep choosing hope even when it feels impossible to hope. Because this is your time. This is your season. This is your moment. Everything you have been through has been leading to this. All the pain. All the struggle. All the waiting. All the disappointment. All the tears. All the prayers. All of it has been building to this moment, when I step into your impossibility and do what only I can do. And when this breakthrough manifests, when the wonder is undeniable, you're going to look back on everything you went through, and you are going to understand why it all had to happen the way it did. You are going to see my hand in what looked like chaos. You are going to recognize my purposes in what felt like pointless suffering. You are going to understand the preparation that was happening in the waiting. And you are going to be so grateful that you did not give up. So grateful that you held on. So grateful that you kept believing even when everything in your circumstances was screaming that believing was foolish. Your testimony is being written right now. The story of how God showed up in your impossible situation and turned it completely around. The story of how God demonstrated His power and faithfulness and love in ways that left you undone. The story that is going to encourage thousands of other people who are in their own impossibilities. Your story is being written in this moment, and it is going to be glorious. It is going to bring glory to my name. It is going to build faith in people who hear it. It is going to be a weapon that destroys lies the enemy has been telling. It is going to be evidence that I am still the God of supernatural acts. So get ready. Get ready to witness the impossible becoming possible. Get ready to experience breakthrough you have been desperate for. Get ready to receive the transformation that has been released. Get ready to testify about what God did. Get ready for your life to be transformed. Get ready for your story to be rewritten. The supernatural act begins now. I want you to carry these words with you like a shield as you step forward from this moment. Let them be the anchor that holds your faith steady when doubt returns to test your resolve. Let them be the fire that burns away every lie the enemy tries to rebuild in the corners of your mind. You have heard my voice speaking directly into your impossibility. You have received my promise that supernatural intervention is being released into your circumstances right now. You have been given a glimpse of what I am doing in the invisible realm on your behalf. Now walk in the confidence of that knowledge. Walk with your head held high, knowing that the God of all creation is personally invested in your breakthrough. You are not fighting this battle alone. You never were. And the outcome has already been decided in your favor. So take courage, take heart. Stand firm in your faith. The best days of your life are not behind you. They are ahead of you. And what I have planned for your future is so magnificent, so extraordinary, so beyond anything you have dared to dream, that when it begins to unfold, you will weep tears of gratitude that you never gave up believing. Amen. If this message reached into the place where you needed it most, share it with someone who is facing their own impossible situation. Send them this message and let them know that God is moving on their behalf. Type Amen in the comments if you believe God is releasing supernatural breakthrough into your life. Tell us what you are believing God for. Write your impossibility in the comments and watch it become a testimony. When you declare your faith publicly, you are partnering with heaven in the transformation of your circumstances. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a word that God has for you. Your story is not over. The impossible situation you are facing is the setup for the greatest testimony you will ever tell. Hold on. Keep believing. Your breakthrough begins now.